We got really dong heavy last week. Maybe we can switch to another appendage or...
One of us was a little dong heavy.
Here's a good question for you. If you take Tatum off the Celtics, they're probably still top 4 seed in the East, right?
I give him top 8.
Doug, just tell him how dumb he is for me real quick so I don't have to. I'm going to drink this while you do that.
Pacers were underdogs in all 5 games. I had at least 5.5 points in all 5 games. I don't want to hear any excuses. Garland only missed 2 games. Mobley missed 1 game. Hunter missed 1 game. You want to talk about the depth all year? We got the coach of the year. Where's the depth? Pacers, game 4 in this series, scored a team record 80 points in the first half. Was up by 41 in that game.
What do you think of what Judge has been doing? And do we need to bring steroids, tiny testicles, and back knee back to baseball?
What a great time to be alive back then with
right?
McGuire and Sosa and Bonds and then the steroid crackdown came and all of a sudden we thought the pitchers were awesome, but they just
Yeah, we just didn't have Donkey Kong at the plate every night.
He's batting .412 right now. Tied for the lead in home runs. He's got 15. He's leading in RBIs. He's leading in OPS. He's leading in on-base percentage. He's leading in every single category. You look up the stat leaders and it's just judge.
Welcome to High Fiber Sports. Easy to digest because we're all full of shit.
Welcome in, beautiful people, to this week's episode of High Fiber Sports. I'm your host, Matt Coble. Joining me today on my right wing is Brad. On my left wing is Doug. Maybe not on your screen, but on my screen. Today, we're going to talk about the NBA, the NFL, the MLB. As always, we hit on all sports, trying to bring you a little comedic relief. And my guy that does that the best, Brad McDonald. Brad, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Matt? I am happy to be here again. That first week was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to keep doing this. What about you guys? Doug, what'd you think of the first week, man?
I had a blast. I thought it was great. Baseball's underway. NBA playoffs, fantastic. And then, of course, all this off-season NFL drama, too. I love it. So.
Yeah. We got really dong heavy last week. Maybe we can switch to another appendage or...
One of us was a little dong heavy. One of us.
I mean, it felt like a theme at that point, and you just had to write it, you know.
Before we get into anything else, I got to shout out that shirt, Doug.
I wish I had a heavy dong. Sorry, had to.
Yeah, this is from the Field of Dreams. There's a baseballism shop there. So in Dyersville, Iowa, they got a Major League Park there now. Field of Dreams is one of my favorite movies.
While we're on the topic, when the Yankees played the White Sox,
that was a great game.
Yeah.
Good pull.
Were you watching that one too, Matt, or did you see it?
I remember it, but I couldn't.
You saw the highlights on SportsCenter. Gotcha.
Yeah, I definitely watched it. 2020, I was at home.
During COVID, there's nothing else to watch.
Why not? Why not, for sure?
You know, it only beat off so many times.
Careful. First, second.
Well, I'm sure I could do it more, but be blood and I don't know. Well, that's not quite dong reference. I mean, chicks can masturbate too.
Good intro to this week's episode of High Fiber Sports here. Like Brad was saying, we did our first ever episode last week. Go check that out on YouTube, people. Please like, comment, subscribe. Like we said, we're talking baseball. We're talking football. But we have to start with the NBA playoffs. The conference semis are still rolling. But fellas, there's one team that's already advanced. I say we start there first with my Indiana Pacers. In a gentleman's sweep, Brad. A gentleman's sweep the other way.
I called it.
4-1. You called it. Gentleman's sweep. You did.
I called it.
4-1.
Gentleman's sweep. Nailed it.
The Pacers move on to the conference finals for the 10th time in franchise history. We all know their record in the conference finals, though, is 1-8. 1-8 in those conference finals. In this series against Cleveland, the Pacers were underdogs in all 5 games by at least 5.5 points in all 5 games. We talked about the injuries last week. But I don't want to hear any excuses from Cleveland. Garland only missed 2 games. Mobley missed 1 game. Hunter missed 1 game. You want to talk about the depth all year? We got the coach of the year. Where's the depth? Where's the depth? I don't want to hear it. Pacers, play with that pace. You want to get up and down. In game 4 in this series, scored a team record 80 points in the first half. Was up by 41 in that game. Ran them off the floor. TJ McConnell, Andrew Nembhard picking up 94 feet. Playing full court for sure. Fellas, there have been 28 teams to win 64 games in an NBA season. The Cavs are one of them. They are now the 3rd team to win 64 games and not reach the conference finals. Brad, is this a collapse in Cleveland, or are you paying a lot of respect to Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers?
I'm going the latter, definitely, to be honest with you. I did say gentleman sweep the other way, yes.
No respect.
Yep. I knew, Hallie had been a slow start to the year. That's why he didn't make the All-Star team, whatever. And then it's like, what seems to be the most important going into the playoff? Who's the hottest and who's the healthiest? And that's where we're at here. Who's the hottest? I mean, you would have said Cleveland a month, 2 ago, sure. But Indiana has sustained that. Tyrese Halliburton is playing at peak form right now. I think people just need to go to the games and tell him how much he sucks and have his dad go try and start fights and shit. And he's just like MJ out there when he does that. So I'm just going to go like pee on his mom's house or something, and then maybe they'll win it.
No, he was smooth as butter last night for sure, closing out the Cavs in Cleveland. Doug, what do you think about the Pacers? Are they not getting enough respect out here?
What is that? 2 straight Eastern Conference Finals for the Pacers?
2 straight.
I mean, yeah, 2 straight. I know the record in the finals. We'll see what happens here. But look, that was a tough. The Cavs had their opportunities in the series, right? I mean, but the Pacers are just too good. I mean, they were hustling. Halliburton obviously is a man. We discussed that last week.
Ooh.
But
Big boy.
I don't know if they do get. That's a 4 seed. The Pacers 4 seed or lower, making the conference finals 2 years in a row. That's insane. I think they do need to have a little bit more respect on the name. Halliburton, your Iowa State guy, coming through, and I'm cheering for him. It's going to be an exciting finals. Yep.
You say foreskin?
There's another one. Pacers, 10th conference finals appearance in franchise history. 6 from Reggie Miller, 2 from Paul George and Big Roy, and now 2 in a row from Halliburton and Siakam. I love to see it for sure. The other semifinal in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks, the Celtics. The Knicks are currently up 3-1. Game 5 going on right now. Brunson in Game 4 had 39 points, 5 boards, and 12 assists. That is his 4th 35-point, 10-assist playoff game for the Knicks, most in franchise history.
Is that good?
That's damn good, Brad. But the story coming out of Game 4 wasn't Jalen Brunson. It was Jason Tatum, boys. He ripped the fuck out of that Achilles. He's now 27 years old, entering his prime. He's about to be named All-NBA First Team for the 4th consecutive year. Now, fellas, there's only 43 players in NBA history that have a total of 4 first-team selections. Tatum's about to do 4 in a row. Doug, what do you think about the Knicks-Celtics series? Is this baby over, or are you giving Celtics any life?
I saw that injury happen, and I immediately. I mean, there's no hesitation.
Well, I mean, in our group chat right away, I was like, so I guess we got a story to talk about, his blown Achilles. The second it was happening, I was like, obviously. How many times have we seen that recently?
Damian Lillard.
Right. And he's young enough. I mean, he'll be fine. But you're talking about a guy who I believe was leading in just about every major category in this playoff. When he went down, just the way the Celtics have kind of played, I didn't give them a prayer, like not a one. And I know as this thing gets loaded and put out there, the game will be over. But I mean, they're killing the Knicks right now without Tatum.
Yeah.
And that just blows me away because I did not give them a single shot, not even one.
Yeah. Usually you have to get paid to beat like that.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to give them a prayer, I guess. Like without Tatum, I guess. I mean, they're looking great today.
Yeah, it's a 20-piece right now in the third quarter. Brad, do you give the Celtics any life, or does New York go back to the Garden and close this one out?
One of the reflections I was going to say from our first episode was that if you want to make money, do exactly the opposite of what I said for predictions. But this one I think I might be on, because I did say Knicks in 6, and I did say that because the talent, depth on the Celtics. Granted, this was before Tatum's Achilles shit its pants. Here's a good question for you. It's for both of you. If you take Tatum off the Celtics, they're probably still top 4 seed in the East, right?
Maybe.
Derek White, look at this guy. I mean, Porzingis isn't even playing in this series. Do you think, what seed do you put him in the East then, Matt?
I give him top 8. It's a big loss. This might be their last win.
Hey,
I'm predicting it.
Doug, tell him he's a dipshit. Just tell him how dumb he is for me real quick so I don't have to. I'm going to drink this while you do that.
Knicks going back to the Garden and closing this baby out. Doug, you're agreeing with that, aren't you?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, I want my question answered too. All right, what seed are we, Doug? You calling him a dipshit like I am right now? That they are definitely a top 4 seed even without Tatum because of their depth. Yeah, he said top 8. That's insulting. The Heat made the playoffs, and I'm a Heat fan.
Boston is 2-14 all time. Went down 3-1 in a best-of-7 series. I got them being 2-15.
Oh my god, you want to make me fucking mad? You tell all-time stats about a franchise when maybe one of the players on the team was involved in that stat. What the shit does that mean?
About to be 2-15, that's what it means.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, because Bill Russell lost that game back in the 60s. These guys, they can't do it either. No way, I can't see it because Bill Russell showed me what they can do. Oh my god, that boils my blood.
Let's talk about the T-Wolves and the Warriors. Minnesota's up 3-1 right now. They won games 3 and 4 by 5 and 7 points respectively in the Bay. Julius Randle in that Game 3 win had the third playoff triple-double in franchise history. He had 24 points, 10 boards, 12 assists. Heard a little bit disrespect about Julius Randle last weekend, so I like to see it. Minnesota is 1 win away from clinching their third conference finals appearance in franchise history. Brad, is it going to happen?
I said 5 games here, right? I believe.
Oh, maybe.
I'm going to stick with it for the obvious reasons. Jimmy Butler doesn't have minimum to carry a team anymore. It's why Pat Riley had no desire to extend him, because he's not quite A or B. Maybe B. He can be an A option for a night or two, but he can't do it for a whole series anymore. He doesn't have the 3-point shooting. He's got the tenacity. No one tries harder, especially when he's counted out, than Jimmy fucking Butler.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't see it. The role players are playing well there too. So I don't know. I think Ant is ascending, and I think this is his time to take over. If Jimmy got a game, at this point in time, I would be shocked. I think it's over. I think it's completely done. I think they're spent. Yeah, maybe the news of Curry possibly being able to come back sparks some. That's the only hope I give them, but otherwise, no. T-Wolves all the way.
Yeah, I definitely love Jimmy Butler. I'll take him on my team any day. He's a dog for sure. You mentioned Anthony Edwards, Brad. Going to you here, Doug. Anthony Edwards just tied Kevin Garnett for the most 40-point playoff games in franchise history with 19. Is Anthony Edwards the best player in Minnesota Timberwolves history over KG already?
Wow. That's tough for me to agree with because I love Kevin Garnett.
Respect.
Iowa boys, man, in Minnesota. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. I grew up watching KG with Minnesota. He's on his way. Like, if he keeps this up, yes, he will be. Can I say that right here, right now? Man, it's real close. I give the edge to KG just because I'm a fan. I'm not saying who's better, but I'm a KG fan. I got mad respect for him. And so that's tough for me to say. If he keeps this up, I mean, he's got a ways to go on his career. Like, it's... Yeah, and I agree with Brad. This will be over tonight. It's in Minnesota. No Steph, and Jimmy's not him. Great player, but he's no Steph Curry. He's not going to be matching Ant by any means. So this will be over tonight in 5.
Back-to-back conference finals appearances for Minnesota. Very impressive. Third.
I know, right? Who would have guessed that a couple of years ago?
It'll be their third ever. Impressive. The other semifinal in the Western Conference, juicy matchup here. The Nuggets, the Thunder. Thunder are currently up 3-2. The Nuggets, fellas, they're running out of legs. They're running out of juice, it looks like, in those fourth quarters late. Coming into the late in games with leads and just can't finish. They played 8 games in the last 15 days. That might not sound like a lot, but when you're only playing 6 guys, you're throwing a 7th guy out there sometimes, rarely an 8th. That's a lot. That's a lot on those starters. I want to look at Game 4. Oh, fellas, that was ugly. That was ugly here in the Mile High City on Sunday. Thunder won by 5, 92-87. First quarter score was 17-8. 17-8 Thunder at the end of the first quarter. The Nuggets and Thunder combined to miss their first 32 of 33 three-point attempts, throwing up bricks. The Nuggets attempted 45 three-pointers. That was the most in franchise playoff history, and they only had 20 paint points. Not getting it down low, not banging bodies. Lowest in any Nugs game in 15 years. Lastly here, in the last 2 fourth quarters, games 4 and 5, OKC has outscored Denver 63-37. The Thunder scored on each of their last 7 possessions last night to clinch that win. Brad, Nuggets, Thunder coming back out here tomorrow night, Mile High City for Game 6. Can the Joker send it back to Oklahoma City? 2 fourth quarters, Thunder have outscored the Nuggets by 63-37. Can the Joker send it back to Oklahoma City for a Game 7?
You know, I didn't think so. This is another one that I kind of got wrong. I thought OKC was just going to destroy. But the Joker is for real, man. He is the best player in the NBA overall. Like, we went over the MVP thing last week, but, like, just everything he can do to take over a game. He can be the scorer, he can be the rebounder, he can be the passer. So, no, I see this as a best freaking 7-game series ever. I can see this going anyway at this point in time, and I love that about that series. I still think Oklahoma City, the talent, will win out. I do. What game? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think it's going to win out. If it's Game 7, hell yeah. Because give us this playoffs again. Come on. You guys, if you're not watching the NBA playoffs, get on board if you like basketball or sports in general, because they are great.
I'm sticking to my original prediction of Thunder in 7. I think the Joker has a hell of a game tomorrow night, sends it back to Oklahoma City, but I think the depth and the size, all these bodies they're throwing at the Joker, it's just going to wear him down at the end. I got the Thunder still in 7. Doug, the Joker in Game 5 had 44 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists. He shot 17 of 25 from the floor. This is his third 35-point, 15 rebound, and 5 assist game this postseason. His third. That is the most in a single postseason since a guy named Wilt fucking Chamberlain in 1964. Can the Joker win 2 in a row?
Who's Wilt Chamberlain?
Number 13 back here in the Kansas uniform. Have some respect. He's in the background.
Yeah, he was my great-grandfather's favorite player.
I thought you were going to say he was your great-grandfather. I'm like you and about 10,000 others from what I hear.
Yeah.
I hope he does. I said it last time. I'm a huge Joker fan. I don't think he does. I think it does go to 7. I could see them winning tomorrow for sure. It'll go back and I think the Thunder will take it. Just too deep. I mean, they're gassed. Yeah. You can tell. You mentioned it, but if you watch these games, man, they are running out of fuel. Like they just. That Joker threw up a shot yesterday from the top of the key. I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes, of course.
That was him just like rocking.
That tied the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 103, 106, something like that. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was close at that time. And he's just so tired. I hope he can bring it back. I don't know. I mean, I think the Thunder probably deserve it more just with their record and talent and things of that nature. But I do think it goes 7. I could see him winning tomorrow, but I think Thunder in 7.
Big news in the NBA this week. We had the draft lottery. All the Queef teams that didn't make the playoffs, they got the lottery balls ping-ponging around. And damn it, the Dallas Mavericks moved up from number 11? And they won this draft lottery. They had the 4th lowest odds to ever win the lottery at 1.8%. The Mavs have only had the number 1 pick one other time in franchise history. That was 1981 with Mark Aguirre. This is now 7 straight years that the team with the worst record in the NBA did not receive the number 1 pick. That coincides with the new lottery system. 7 years in a row, the worst team has not had the number 1 pick. The top 5 goes as follows. Dallas Mavericks. The Spurs are number 2, selecting in the top 4 for the 3rd straight year. Sixers, number 3. Number 4, Hornets. Number 5, Jazz. Brad, your thoughts on the draft lottery and the Mavs moving up from 11 to 1?
After what looked like the dumbest trade ever, they got lucky. I know the conspiracies, everyone playing this, all that shit. I don't want to go into that because that's dumb. I don't believe that to be true at all. There's no point in doing that. I'm actually going to harp it back to what we were talking about earlier, in that, like, the NBA is doing a few things right. The draft lottery, that's a thing. That brings attention to the league. And also de-incentivizes tanking to a certain extent. And so I have 0 problems with this. I think it should be implemented elsewhere, because sometimes it could be one guy in the draft that turns a franchise around. Well, if you got this one team that keeps taking a Cleveland steamer on its own chest, and by Cleveland, that certainly was inserted for a reason, because they're good at it, don't give it to them. They don't know what they're doing with it.
Doug, how do you feel about small market teams like maybe the Wizards, the Hornets, the Jazz that tanked for Cooper Flag and they fall back to 4, 5, 6? Are you okay with that? Do they get a little taste of their own medicine there?
Yeah, I like that. I hate the tanking. It's done in every sport almost.
Yeah, 100%.
it's as a fan base, when you figure out that that's what your team is doing, man, I don't even, so frustrating, right? I don't, I love that they moved up. You talking about getting, I mean, they pissed off their entire fan base by trading Luka, and now they have the top draft pick. I mean, they got AD, and now they're Cooper Flag. We assume, you can only assume. You talk about luck, which is nice, but yeah, I don't feel sorry for these teams that are tanking for the top overall pick. Like I've never liked tanking. I'm not even a fan of those teams, and I'm so frustrated for their fan base having to follow that all year, and all they get to look forward to is the lottery, and they lost out on it. I feel sorry for the fans, but the organization, play to win, please. Like
we're sports fans for a reason. I mean, that's one of those things. It's like, we are paying your paycheck because we buy the subscriptions, we buy the jerseys, we watch the games, we buy the tickets to the games. We're your audience, and so you should be answering to us in that sense, in my opinion anyways.
My first thought when I saw Dallas get the number 1 pick is that they could possibly move that number 1 selection, and a big name that has come to the forefront as possibly
Kyle Korver.
Old teammate of Kyle Korver, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is reportedly open-minded to playing somewhere other than Milwaukee. Now, fellas, I just want to lay out his resume real quick. I think he's top 20 all-time. I think Giannis is top 20 all-time. He's 30 years old right now, 12 years in the NBA, all with the Bucks. He's a 9-time All-Star in those 12 years, 8 times All-NBA, 5-time All-Defensive. He was the 2017 Most Improved Player. He was the 2020 Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 2-time MVP and the 2021 World Champion and Finals MVP. Going to both of you here, fellas, a little trivia time. There's only been 5 players, along with Giannis, so Giannis is in this group, in the history of the NBA who have won both an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year in their careers. Giannis is one. Can you give me the other 4?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs and 1 Defensive Player of the Year, yes. Doug, you're sleeping on one of your guys. Michael Jordan, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Bill Russell? Because of what I said earlier, I assumed did everything.
3 big men here that I'm looking at. Doug, one of your guys now.
Shaq. No. Big men.
He doesn't get much bigger than Shaq.
Yeah, that's a really big man.
If you guys give up, let me know.
Fuck. I've gotta think for a second. Defensive Player of the Year.
Only give me MJ tonight? Could only give me MJ.
Did Dwight Howard ever win MVP? I wouldn't think so. Yeah, he can't score. He can't shoot. KG. Damn it!
Give me 2 more. Give me 2 more big men.
Are they old whites from the Fizz or?
Nope.
No. Okay.
We watched them, boys.
Good. Okay, good.
We watched them as boys.
Shit, bigs, huh? Hakeem Olajuwon?
Hakeem Olajuwon has 1
right.
MVP and 2 Defensive Player of the Years.
Patrick Ewing?
Almost. Nope.
Oh, fuck.
No MVPs for him.
Doug? Got another one?
Nah.
MJ, Hakeem, KG, Giannis. One more guy has 1 MVP and 1 Defensive Player of the Year. I'm impressed that you got the other 3 though.
Steve Buscemi?
I don't know
Teams win everything. Okay.
You boys want me to give you this one?
Yeah, I do. I got nothing. I'm sure I'm going to hate myself when you say it, but...
Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Garnett, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the Admiral David Robinson.
That makes sense. I don't think of him as MVP, even though obviously he did. I think more defensive, because back then they're like, you don't have to score as much to win an MVP. Like, Ben Wallace, he has no idea what a basket looks like. He's never put a ball in one. But he will eat your head and never let you score. So, legend.
So, boys, if you're Dallas, you're sitting here with the number 1 overall selection. You got Anthony Davis, you got Kyrie nursing an ACL injury. Are you looking to move this pick for Giannis Antetokounmpo or stay on Cooper Flag and maybe the Spurs at number 2 maybe try to make a deal for Giannis? Doug, what's your thoughts on this?
Oh, boy. I stay where I'm at. Something just happened to you. I mean, I know they could move it, but 1.8% chance. Cooper Flag is a great person to put on that team. I don't know if he's going to be, this taking the league by storm, but he's going to be damn good. And I think he's going to fit in well on that team. He can do just a little bit of everything. I'd like to see him stay, but I don't know where this Giannis thing, I don't know where he's going to go. I mean, there's so much stuff up in the air that people can move around that anything can happen. You could pull in third teams for teams that don't have much assets. I mean, this thing's going to be It's going to be nuts speculating where he's going to go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have no clue. I could see. I think Dallas will stay where they're at. That's just what I'm feeling.
If I'm Dallas, I got to stay where I'm at. Cooper Flag, 18 years old. He seems like a generational talent. I move Anthony Davis immediately, try to get as much back that I can for him. Just start over. Wait for Kyrie to do whatever. I mean, you can get something good for Anthony Davis right now. You wait 2 or 3 years, you're not going to get as much. Cooper Flag's 18. Let's start over, Dallas. Brad, what do you do if you're Dallas?
No.
Giannis end up? No?
This team, if healthy, would have been a contender. I know trading Luka, everyone was like up in arms, but the defense and length on this team was insane. The amount of injuries they had throughout the year. Add Cooper Flag. He is unpolished LeBron James, being that like 6'9", can do everything okay right now. But if he has the work ethic to get better, this is a point forward, and this is what you want. This is 6'9" point forward, and that's what everyone wants after LeBron James came out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. I think you hold on. The team's good enough where it's at right now. You add that to it. They're at least a top 4 seed. Give them the year after that. Flag gets a year in the NBA. Like you said, he's 18 years old. He declared a year early. Yeah. Back when I was his age, I still had foreskin. Okay?
Brad, I got to sleep on Dallas, though. Not enough guards, not enough ball handling for me. You know, you got Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, Brandon Williams, Spencer Dinwiddie. No Kyrie. It's just not enough ball handling for me. But, Brad, finish this conversation with where you think Giannis is playing next season.
Shit. I have no idea. I'm with Doug. It can go 3. There can be 5-team trades, 3-team trades. Like, anyone that thinks they can get him. Who thought Luka was going to LA in the middle of the year this year? No one! So, like, I would just be, you know what? Saskatchewan, whatever their minor league team is. I'm going to say that because that is just as good of a guess as anyone picking what team he goes to. But realistically, I'm guessing a big market or a team that has loaded assets. You want an undefeated team next year? Take a few of OKC's assets and throw them at Giannis. Download Chet Holmgren, Giannis. You don't even really need a center because neither one of them are really centers. They're both hybrid centers. They could both do it if they need to, but do that and then throw any 3 fucking guards you want out there. I like that team. Like, that is huge, athletic. Every one of the court shoot threes. Like, whoo.
Yeah.
I don't know where he goes, but that's what I kind of want to see. Because since he's leaving a small market team, go small market team. Unless he goes to the Pacers. I'll go there first because Halliburton.
Hey,
go Hallie.
on,
Go Hallie. Go Hallie. Go. I want him to go to the Heat, obviously, along with every free agent out there. But I will settle for Indy or most intriguing, OKC.
OKC is definitely intriguing. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll throw the Spurs in there. Just put them next to Wemby.
Of course.
Wemby, that would be sexy. Doug, you want to throw one team in the mix?
Boy, I don't know. I think, he's going somewhere because he wants to win.
Yeah.
I think
he's going to win now. Yeah.
I mean, Milwaukee's in trouble.
Yeah.
That's the
cap
Titanic.
space gone. Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to.
Rockets, another young talented team.
They have the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even going to make a prediction. I can't even tell you.
That's the thing. I'm with you, Doug. It could any team in the league, and again, that's why I think the NBA's killing on some things. They just need people to watch the damn games, and maybe you put them on TV. I don't know. It helps usually for people to watch and stuff during the regular season. You know, just saying, so we can watch them. Whatever. With our TVs, ice, and all that.
That's some good NBA talk there, fellas. Let's talk a little bit of NFL because we got a little bit of news here. 4-time Pro Bowler Derek Carr has announced his retirement from the game. Derek Carr discovered a shoulder injury in late March that would require surgery and a year of rehab. The 34-year-old played 9 seasons with the shit-sniffing Raiders and the last 2 with the Saints. In 2016, that was his best year. He was 3rd in the MVP voting. 12-3 record before he snapped that fibula, 28 tutties to 6 picks. Brad, what's your thoughts about Derek Carr retiring from the game?
It's kind of sad, him and his brother's story. David Carr comes out and just gets absolutely freaking destroyed because he's with a new franchise. He set a new NFL record for the amount of sacks in his first few years in the league. I really do. I feel bad for him because obviously both of them had the arm talent. David went number 1 overall, wasn't it? Derek went second round probably because of, David didn't pan out. That, again, just because he was actually murdered before he died in the NFL. Like, he's not all there anymore. And then his brother comes through the same thing, just goes through shit organization after shit organization with no results, even though I really think he could play. So at this point in time, like, it's just kind of sad. The last thing I'd want to be at is holidays 10 years from now in that family when the CTE battle begins. They're just yelling at each other and throwing poo, and neither one knows who the fuck they are.
Doug, what do you think about Derek Carr retiring, and where do the Saints go from here?
This bummed me out. I like Derek Carr a lot.
Same.
Like, I really, and I don't know, and I think it was that Hard Knocks season that we got to watch with Gruden, and you got to really know Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I was always just rooting for him. And
Seems
I really
like a good dude, man.
He does. He's a good guy. He's a good teammate. He's a great leader, and he's a good quarterback. He was just on some terrible teams, and then he went to the Saints, and I was happy. I was excited to watch him. So when I learned about this news, it's a little too early to call it a career. So it bums me out, especially with Kellen Moore going in there. Who I was really, again, being a Derek Carr fan, just kind of rooting for him
Sure.
in the background. Bummer. Big bummer.
Brad, where do you think the Saints go from here at the quarterback position?
I think you got to give Rattler a whirl to start with. Only to start. Rattler, whatever the hell his last name is, I've heard him pronounced 700 different ways. I call him Tyler S. Tyler Stevenson. He's got a rocket of an arm. He can run, what was a 4.6 40, 6.5, something like that. Like transferred a bunch of times, but I think it's just because he was behind talented guys all the time. Injuries, obviously, multiple injuries, but the injuries, if I'm not mistaken, were a lot of like collarbone, easiest bone in the body to break, by the way. He's diving in the end zone, sacrifices his body, probably because he's a super athlete, big arm, big legs. He's like poor man's Josh Allen, basically, is what he looks like.
Oh, wow.
Well, I said poor man's. I didn't say it was Josh Allen. You watch your tone before you get all reactive and whatever. I'm just saying looks and speed and stuff like that.
Okay. Doug, what are you thinking about this quarterback room in New Orleans? You giving Rattler the first reps or Tyler Shuck?
We'll see how things go here in the offseason. We got these camps coming up and OTAs and things like that. I think you start with Rattler because he's got that playing experience. He did fine. Like, it's okay.
The team sucked.
Yeah, the team's not, for what he had, like, it's fine. He's just fine. That's all he really is. But I think you start with that. You know what you got. But Kellen Moore, I mean, he's kind of like this offensive guru, and he's got a quarterback that he drafted that is a high draft pick. He's very talented. So I think you could see him to start the season, but I think you probably start with Rattler just to kind of get things moving. I wouldn't be surprised within the first few weeks, maybe week 5. By that time, I think you're going to see Tyler, whatever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it either,
Tyler Stevenson.
Yeah.
So what's the you about Matt for Rattler?
I think he's
not a fan.
He's too small. He's too short. He threw 4 tutties and 5 picks. I'm just not excited. Not excited. 6 foot, 211.
Yeah.
But Tyler Shuck, I think I give him the first reps. He was, like you said, Doug, high draft pick, 40th overall, 3rd quarterback selected. I think you got to respect that. Brad, you mentioned how he moved around a lot. 3 years at Oregon, 3 years at Texas Tech, 1 year at Louisville. He played 42 games over 7 seasons. That's about 6 games a year, fellas. Completed over 106 passes just once in a season. I'm a little lower on Tyler Shuck going into the draft. I had him way down my quarterback rankings. So I don't want any part of New Orleans in fantasy next year. Yeah, Alvin Kamara, he can be a volume king, but I don't want Olave. I don't want Shaheed. I don't want any of those guys.
I'm with you on that for sure. Your hate so far in Rattler is like, well, Shuck's your other option. What are you going to do here? Rattler was the number 1 overall prospect coming out of high school. He has talent, and that could have went to his head back then, and sometimes it takes a little time. Now Jameis Winston can see and preach. He can't play football still, but he's grown from crab legs and talking about effing pussies. Was it something like that? I don't know. Change is always there. Sometimes you can get better at things. Unfortunately, throwing interceptions, not for him. But like, I think Doug said too, is you got to see how training camp goes. But I think Rattler, with just the experience with NFL starts, just as he struggled to begin with, you think you're going to throw another guy who's not going to struggle, and then you let Rattler sit forever, and then he's going to struggle a little bit when he comes back in. See if Rattler's a thing, because if he's not, kick him to the curb after this year. Let Chuck develop. Your team sucks. You got no chance. So what the hell are you doing here? Don't try and win right now. Try and win tomorrow. And how many times did a franchise miss out on a quarterback because they didn't have the right shit around him? It wasn't the quarterback. We're seeing it more than ever right now. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. It's not always the player. So that's why it's like, maybe get out of fucking mirror. How about that? Yeah.
I think we're going to see at least 2 quarterbacks play in New Orleans this season. It's not a situation I want any part of. Fellas, let's finish up this week's episode with a little bit of baseball talk. The MLB is in full swing. I'll lead us off here. Doug is our baseball expert. Doug, we talked about the Dodgers and the Tigers last week, being hot. Give me 2 more teams that you want to talk about who are off to impressive starts.
As of late, a couple of hot teams you got to talk about. Obviously, the Twins. They just won their 10th in a row today, so they're blazing. They had a doubleheader that they took they got rained out yesterday, so they took 2 today for 10 straight. The Cardinals were also on a streak. They got up to 9. They got beat today. They had a doubleheader as well. They got beat the first game 2-1. It was a close one, and they won their second one. So still 9 out of 10, and they're blazing right now. The Cardinals, they're 2 games back in the division, and everybody talks about the Cubs. So they had a nice little run there. Again, the NL Central is not like super stacked by any means, but they're hot on the Cubs trail for sure. And the Twins, and we talked about the Tigers last week. The Twins, they won 10 games in a row. They're still 4th in that division. They're like 5.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5 games back in the AL Central right now.
Holy hell, it's this early in the season?
Yeah.
What the hell was the record before that win streak?
It's
negative? Did they take away games?
They got off to a really slow start.
Holy hell.
So you love that 10-game streak, but the Tigers, they're tied for the best record in baseball. And that whole AL Central, I kind of slided them last week talking about how weak they are. But, the Tigers, the Royals, the Indians, now the Twins, they won. I mean, the 4th best team in the division just won 10 games in a row.
The only team that sucks is our boys.
Yeah.
Bums.
Yeah, so they're
bad.
super hot right now. We'll see how it plays out. The Cardinals, they're batting .261 as a team, so they're hitting the ball really well.
Jesus.
The Twins not hitting as good, but their pitching has come through, and they've had a lot of back and forth games. So they're one of those teams that, like, if they're down by 1 for sure, 2, 3, 4 later in the later innings, they've had plenty of comebacks in that streak. It's pretty exciting to be a Twins fan, but unfortunately, you look at the standings and you're like, fucking Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, when you can win 10 straight and still be 5 game back this early in the season, it's like, damn.
I didn't realize the AL Central was that hot. That's a tough division this year because the last few years it's been pretty shitty.
Ooh, yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, White Sox have been legendary, not in a good way.
Brad, where you want to take this baseball discussion next?
Right now, I feel like you have to talk about Aaron Judge. One thing I saw, I think it was like last week, so I'm sure being they have games sometimes multiple every day. Stat I saw was the Yankees were leading the MLB in batting average. If you take Aaron Judge off their team, they're 14th. That is ungodly. MLB hasn't had anyone hit over 400 since, what year was it?
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams was the last one to do it, and that was in whatever years he was alive, and that I don't know that because I wasn't. But, yeah, no one's even, I mean, Tony Gwynn getting over, 300 for so many years. Ichiro, I think he got like 370s a few times, maybe. I don't know, I'm spitballing here, but I think it's pretty close. But no one else has been anywhere near this, and to be 400 at this point, don't get me wrong, I don't think he will get there. But at this point in time, maybe, and that'd be the coolest thing for baseball of all time because everyone would be attached just like the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire year if he was anywhere near 400. So I think if we get one of those, that would be the biggest thing for baseball ever. Because back then, I mean, don't get me wrong, love baseball back then. That's when I watched it more than anything. McGwire, Bonds, back knee, tiny testicles, just giant people. What do you think of what Judge has been doing? And do we need to bring steroids, tiny testicles, and back knee back to baseball?
Yeah,
Two questions, sorry.
What a great time to be alive back
Yeah,
then with
right?
McGuire and Sosa and Bonds and I mean, and then the steroid crackdown came, and all of a sudden we thought the pitchers were awesome, but they just took the steroid.
Yeah, we just didn't have Donkey Kong at the plate every night.
Yeah, but Judge had 2 hits today. He's batting .412 right now, and he's lead. I think he's tied for. He hit a home run today too, so he's tied for the lead in home runs. He's got 15. He's leading in RBIs. He's leading in OPS. He's leading in on base percentage. He's leading in every single category. You look up the stat leaders, and it's just Judge.
It's comical at this point.
Yeah. And the Yankees can hit, but they don't hit as well, obviously. They dropped down, but still being top 14 in the league wise,
still fine.
You're in the top half, right? I mean, you're still hitting the baseball. So
if you had one guy go from middle of the pack to 1, though, that's pretty neat. I totally agree, dude. The big question is, would you have sex with Aaron Judge to get him on the White Sox? I'm on the fence. I assume you're a yes.
Brad's on the fence.
I mean, he's and look at him. He'll just pick you up and take you where you want to go. He's a large man, so make you feel soft and comfortable all the time.
You got to be the catcher. You got to be at the bottom. Is that?
If Aaron Judge is on one side, you're the catcher, brother. Come on. So, Doug, yes, you're sleeping with him? Yeah, perfect. That's what I thought.
True fan. I want to take this baseball discussion out here to the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado, because the Rockies have just fired manager Bud Black. The Rockies, in the midst of an embarrassing season, have decided to fire manager Bud Black a day after a 21-0 ass beating to the Padres. The Rockies are currently 7-35. 7 wins through 40 games is the worst start to an MLB season since Baltimore won 6 in 1988. The only team since 1900 to have a worse run differential through 40 games of a season was the 2023 Oakland A's. The worst start for any team through their first 50 games in a season was Oakland in 2023. They started 10-40. The Rockies need to go 4-4 in their next 8 games to avoid tying this record. That ain't going to happen. Bud Black was in his 9th season as the head man for the Rockies. He is the winningest manager in franchise history with 544 career wins. Doug, what do you think about Bud Black having to take the fall here in Colorado?
I know Bud Black had some success in Denver, but you gotta go. They're so bad. 7-35 is insane. Their pitching is atrocious. They're dead last in the league in pitching. Their best starting pitcher is 0-6 with an ERA over 6. They're so bad. I don't know. The one good thing that you can pick off the team is Hunter Goodman. He's a younger catcher for them. He's batting about 300. So he's having a decent season, but overall, I mean, they brought in Chris Bryant. He's been a dumpster fire. It didn't work out, obviously. They got rid of Nolan Arenado, who everybody loved out there. But I got to ask you, Matt, being in Mile High City, what are the vibes? Is anybody even what's going on here? I mean, I know we got the Nugs in the playoffs, but is anybody?
Yeah, dude, you said you go to games.
I buy the worst seat and I never go to it. I buy the worst seat in the house. I never go to my seat. The vibes are good. The vibes are good because tickets are $10, $15 to go see whoever you want to go see. And the vibes are also good because the Beesies are floating in the air. But yeah, the Rockies suck. The Rockies, what was their first year was 90th, I believe. So it's a fairly new franchise. Nuggets are going far in the playoffs these last few years. The Avs are always contending. The Broncos are coming up. So the Rockies are just kind of here. The Rockies are just kind of here right now.
Fair.
They fucking blow. 7-35, get the fuck out of here. But I'll pay $10 to see a pro game at any time. Brad, we got big news this week in baseball that Pete Rose had his lifetime ban lifted. Now that he's already deceased, does this matter? What's your thoughts on this, Brad? Now that he can possibly be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Rumor has it that when Pete Rose died, he had 2 wishes. The first one was to have his entire trust put down on 50-1 odds for him to get into the Hall of Fame after he died within the first year. The second one was to get a booklet of 17-year-old girl photos. So, I mean, whoa. I guess the man never changes.
Let's head out to Pittsburgh now, Doug. The Pirates, they fired manager Derek Shelton last week. What do you have to tell us about the Pirates, maybe about the fan that fell onto the field? What do you have for us on the Pirates?
Yeah, it's been a tough year in Pittsburgh for the Pirates. They fired their manager too. They got Don Kelly, they promoted to manager now. And they're 11 games behind in the division. We're only a month and a half out of 9 months long. anything could happen. I don't see him contending. It's a wrap, which is unfortunate because they have two players that I really enjoy watching. Paul Skeens obviously is a phenom. He's
Freak.
he's going to be around.
Freak.
Yeah, he's everything that everybody thought he was since he's come up. Since he was drafted, actually. I mean, he came up same season. And then O'Neal Cruz, their center fielder, is a great baseball player. He's, Andrew McCutchen came out of Pittsburgh, and he kind of reminds me of that a little bit. He can fly around. He can hit home runs. His average isn't great this year. He's slugging the ball. So those two guys, to have a team kind of fire their manager so early, have a bad record, be last in the division, to have two superstars that they can kind of lean on and watch is kind of like the Rockies. No offense, Matt, but like nobody on the Rockies I'm really watching. Pittsburgh, you tune into Paul Skeens, right? I mean, so it kind of sucks, but Pittsburgh's one of those scrappy teams that will make a run every now and again. I don't see him doing it this year, unfortunately. We'll see how it goes. But
well, Doug, on that, do you think all the years of just absolute putrid teams, do you think it's on the ownership group? Because they're fighting their manager right now, but you can't tell them to hit the curveball because it's coming next. It seems like putting a Band-Aid on things is the Pirates' long-term lack of success due to ownership and their investment strategies, being that the MLB doesn't have like the constraints with the salary cap and everything, like, so people just spend as much money as they feel like to get a profit. Do you think it's the owner's fault why they've sucked for so long, especially when you get a gem like this?
Yeah, I don't know. Pittsburgh has had some good players come through their system, and they've had some decent seasons where they're at least in the hunt for the division. But I don't know. I mean, firing the manager in baseball is more of, it's not like the NFL where the system isn't working or anything like that. The manager is just the voice that keeps the guys going. It's a 162 game season. Sometimes
so if they're done already, you're just like, if this team's already checked out, you feel like you gotta just like cut the cord, basically.
Sometimes a manager can make all the difference. I mean,
fair enough.
I don't know. Like Don Kelly, I don't know. He was a player for the Tigers. He wasn't great, but he's been around the game. He's a younger guy. He's a former player. And sometimes you get these former players in there, and they can kind of get guys going. I mean, look at A.J. Hint, Detroit.
That's fair.
Best record in baseball. So I think it's more of just a change-up, like, hey, let's get some new vibes going in here, get some new voices in the clubhouse, get some new people on staff. And I think that's kind of what it is, and we'll see what happens, because Pittsburgh doesn't have an awful roster. I mean, they're not the best by any means, but they're scrappy. So we'll see what happens.
What about that, the fan? He fell out of the stands a few weeks ago. What's the news on him? Did you hear?
Yeah, he's taken his first steps. He broke his collarbone, his neck, his back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah, this guy fell from, it was like 22 feet in the air off a balcony onto the field. They didn't know if he was going to make it.
Did he have any comment afterwards? Like,
I haven't seen any comment from him.
Okay.
I know his family's commented. They're super happy, and it's very fortunate.
And he's walking and everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to start that process. He's not just running around yet, but yeah. So
he didn't get pushed or anything like that. Watched the Pirates for 20 years, and that's what he thought was the right answer, huh?
All right, fellas, that's going to finish this week's episode of High Fiber Sports. We appreciate everybody coming out. Any time that you spend on this episode, we appreciate it. We want to hear from you, the feedback. But Brad, big weekend here in the Mile High City. You're coming out here Friday morning.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to our buddy, the 3-time Queef of the Year, Sam Belkis, is tying the knot this weekend. Brad, how excited are you to come out here?
Matt, I haven't been to Denver in a hot second, so I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to see Sam. I can't wait to travel out there, and maybe we get a little recording going on. We'll see.
Yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Definitely looking forward to this weekend. Doug, appreciate all the work you put in tonight. Take us home. Put us to bed.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hey, if you're new to the channel, check out Matt's Quick Shitters. Make sure you like and subscribe. Brad really needs this channel to be monetized for Dave's sex addiction therapy.